Questionnaire interview with Sharon Palmieri, founder-president of Right On Hoosiers, a writers group in Northwest Indiana. The date is May 3rd, 2012. I am in fact sitting here with Sharon, who I consider to be the godmother of an insurmountable number of creative poems, short stories, and books, especially some of mine, which I am truly grateful for. Back in the year 2003, I published a book titled Author Unknown, Author Undaunted. Sharon was kind enough to complete my questionnaire at that time to be included in the book. Today I'm going to ask her many of those questions again. We're both aware that many years have passed since then, and a lot can happen in 9 years, so Sharon will also be giving you some updates with regard to Right On Hoosiers and whatever she would like to share on what she has worked on since then. Okay, here we go. Hi Sharon, thanks for taking the time to do this.
Thank you, Gail, for having me here today, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions.
Here's my first question for you, Sharon. What gave you the idea to initiate a writers group?
Well, Gail, I began teaching classes in creative writing for a Maryville Adult Education program in 1989. And writing for magazines and newspapers for Purdue University Calumet Education shortly after. What happened was that after the classes ended, students wanted to continue to write and hone their work. I suggested the only writers group I knew in the area, but they felt too intimidated to try it. They wanted their own writers group and asked me to start one. So I said that if I was assured of 10 serious members, I would do it. Those students were the founding members of Right On Hoosiers. But thinking back to it all, I think the seed planted to create a writers organization went back further than that. When I started writing short stories back in 3rd grade, I remember the frustration of not having anyone to share them with. There were no writers groups back then in grade school or even high school. I was shy and withdrawn, and the only way I could express myself was through writing. As luck would have it, my 8th grade teacher, Mr. Dockweiler, really took an interest in my writing and asked me to write a play for our class to perform for the PTA. Now, I finally had an audience to share my work with, which opened up a new world for me. I really think writers, whatever their age, need to bond together in a group so they can feel free to share their work with someone who understands and is interested in the craft of writing. It also keeps writers writing because they know a meeting is coming up. Deadlines are great for motivation.
Okay, great, Sharon. Now, what year did you create or start your writers organization, the Right On Hoosiers Incorporated? Detail the history for me, okay, and the current status of the organization.
Okay, before I talk about the beginning of our organization, I really would like to say that for decades, Indiana has been known for its grain and steel. And I know that we're all proud of these contributions to the nation and the world, but people must be aware that Indiana has even more to offer than grain and steel. Indiana has great literary and writing talent. Right On Hoosiers held its first meeting in 1989 at the Lake County Reference Library. We had 10 founding members. In 1990, we began plans for our club. In fact, we wanted to be more than a club. We wanted to have speakers and conferences and perhaps even an annual magazine. In 1991, we gained corporate status and became a 501c3 tax-exempt organization. We also published our first Hoosier Horizon magazine, but I'll mention that a little bit later. Between the years 1992 and 1996, Right On Hoosiers began reaching out to writers in surrounding communities. Conferences and workshops were held at area libraries and were open to the public. We sponsored several mini conferences for the Ball State Midwest writers. National and international published writers were invited to the area to share their expertise and experiences on all genres of writing and the publishing trade. We added 3 chapters to our growing membership, approximately 50 members at the time. a Maine chapter named for its location at the Hobart Library on Main Street, a journal memoir chapter, which met in Munster, and a Westlake chapter, which also met in Munster. Right on Hoosiers also became an active participant in a national program for the blind. Members read their stories and poems on tape to add to the Lake County Library audiobooks for the blind. This was before audiobooks became so popular in bookstores. In 1997, Right on Hoosiers suspended its critique group to concentrate on children's contests and programs. The year 2000 brought the last edition of the Hoosier Horizon Children's Magazine, and the children's program ended. It was a sad day because the program was very near and dear to my heart. It just became such a monumental task for such a small committee to handle. Even though the children's book program ended, the year 2000, our critique group started back with a flourish. Basically, this same way it started before, with 10 students. The millennium was the dawn of a new computer age with high-tech opportunities for Right on Hoosier, and chatter about a website began. In 2005, Right on Hoosiers had its own Sunday column in the Post-Tribune called The Writer's Palette. In June of that year, Right on Hoosiers also sponsored a half-day mini-conference called The Right Passage. In 2008, we launched a website and a blog and joined Facebook. We also celebrated our 20th anniversary that December with 76 people attending. Many of the founding members and past students of mine also returned for the event. In 2010, Hoosier Horizon Magazine made a comeback. In 2011, the Hoosier Horizon Magazine Photo Contest made a comeback. Now, in 2012, we have approximately 35 members and are looking forward to our 25th anniversary next year.